Hello and welcome to this session entitled The New DMCC Act and Consumer Law, a guide to the latest changes with me, Keith Markham. As always, let's begin by having a look at the agenda for this session. So there's an awful lot to discuss, so we're not going to talk about every possible aspect of this, but we're going to focus on the following. We're going to talk about an overview of the consumer law changes and talk about when they're likely to come into force, or indeed when they are coming into force. And then we're going to focus on two particular topics. We're going to talk about unfair commercial practices. Many of you will be aware that we have had rules concerning this particular topic for some time, and essentially we're going to see that the existing rules are effectively repealed and replaced by rules that are very similar, albeit there are some important changes that are typically favourable to the consumer, and we will be going through those in some detail. The other major change that we're going to talk about in this session is the issue of enforcement provisions. There are radical changes here. If the changes to unfair commercial practices are not that significant in practice, the changes to enforcement provisions are very significant. So first of all, many of you will be aware that we will see the introduction of fining powers of up to 10% of global turnover for serious breaches of consumer law. Currently, before the Act comes into force, there are no such fining powers whatsoever in this jurisdiction. We will also see that the Competition and Markets Authority, which is the main regulator, will be given direct enforcement powers of its own with effect from when these provisions come into force, and they will be able to levy a fine themselves, a bit like the Information Commissioner in the context of data protection, and that will also be up to essentially 10% of global turnover. So we're going to go through those. The second and third bullet point will form the basis of this session today.